If you've been experiencing muscular discomfort in your shoulders and your back, then this short flow is for you. You don't need anything for this class, and we'll begin seated, any comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in, reaching arms overhead, and exhale, hands to prayer in front of the heart. Inhale, arms lift, and exhale, cactusing your arms this time. Take your hands behind your back, clasping fingers and opening up through your chest, squeezing shoulder blades together. And now taking your fingers clasped in front of you, rounding through the upper back, and invite just a gentle sway from side to side, just feeling into any tight spots that you might be feeling in the lats. And release, finding a shoulder roll, and then crossing your right arm in front of the body for a shoulder stretch. And then switching sides. Release, bending your left elbow, catching hold of the opposite hand for a tricep stretch, and then turning this into a side bend. Nice, and then just turning to face your right knee and folding forwards. Lift on up, and we're going to take this right into a twist, taking your left hand to your right knee, twisting to the right. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, unwind. Let's take that series of stretches on the other side, so bending your right elbow for a tricep stretch, turning this into a side bend. And then from here, rotating your chest over the left knee, folding forward any amount, maybe forehead reaches down towards your knee. And then coming into your seated twist to the left. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. And then unwind. Transitioning now onto hands and knees, tabletop. And we'll flow through a couple rounds of cat-cow, just warming up the spine. Inhale, dropping the belly, lifting chest. And exhale, rounding through the entire spine. Repeating twice more. And then return to a neutral spine, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Walking out your dog, just stretching out the backs of the legs. And then dropping your knees down, crawling your hands forward, melting your chest down for a puppy pose. Taking either your forehead or your chin to the mat, just depending on how deep you want to make this stretch. And then slowly coming out of your puppy pose and onto your elbows, coming onto forearms, finding Sphinx pose. Making sure your shoulders are dropping down away from your ears and lifting your chest forward. Really think about using your fingertips to kind of drag backwards, allowing your chest to reach forwards. And then just walking your hands back to place beside the ribs. Coming into a baby cobra, option to hover your hands away from the mat. And then maybe lifting your feet away from the mat, turning this into a locust. Hands can stay by the ribs or reaching back. Let's return hands beside the ribs. And then lift on up into an upward facing dog, stretching through the entire front of the body. And then taking it back into a downward facing dog. Once again, just finding any movement that feels good or holding in stillness. From here, we'll begin to wake up the core, waving your spine forward into a plank pose. Holding in your plank, cross your right knee to your left elbow, left knee to right elbow, back to plank. Let's repeat once more each side. Right knee, left elbow, left knee, right elbow, back to plank. And then shift forward, coming into your chaturanga. Let's inhale, upward facing dog, and then back into our chaturanga, waking up triceps, lower all the way onto your belly. Half Bakasana from here. So take your left forearm onto your mat, bend into your right knee, and reach for your right foot with your right hand. See if you can catch hold of it, gently drawing the right foot in the direction of your outer right hip. And then once you've got your position, rotating your chest forward. So this is a back bend as well as a quad stretch. Let's gently release and take it over to the other side. So catching hold of the foot, gently drawing it down to the outer left hip, and then rotating your chest forward. And then release. Continue to work the back in our bow pose, so bending into both knees, reaching back for your ankles or feet, flexing or pointing the toes. And you want to balance on your pointy hip bones as you begin to lift your chest, kicking your feet into your hands, and then lower all the way down. Let's come up into upward facing dog, big breath here. And exhale, downward facing dog. This down dog might be feeling quite good after those back bends. And then on your next breath in, lifting your left leg up towards the sky, bending the knee, opening up your hip. And staying here, or if flipping your dog is in your practice, I invite you now to take your wild thing, flip dog, really lifting your chest up towards the sky. Left hand reaches up towards the very top of your mat. And then slowly unwind, returning to your three-legged dog. And then drawing your left knee in towards your chest, stepping your left foot forward, lower your back knee, coming into low lunge. Breathe in, reach your arms up. Exhale, cactus arms. And then taking hands to your hips, sink your hips forward a little bit more as you lift your chest up. So we're finding a bit more of a back bend here. Really, really opening up through the upper body. Option to take your hands overhead, clasping hands apart from your pointer fingers. Just for a breath, it's quite intense. And then release, and we'll find our way into half split, so straightening through your left leg. Finding a subtle shift of your left hip back, right hip forward. And then planting your right hand down, lift your left arm up towards the ceiling as you open up into a twist. Unwind your twist and then stepping forward into a forward fold. On your next breath in, lifting up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching arms up overhead as you rise to stand. And then exhale, hands through prayer, Tadasana. Inhale, lifting arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump back into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Second side. Inhale, right leg lifts up towards the sky, bending your knee, opening up your hip. Option to take your wild thing if you did so on the other side. Holding in this back bend for a breath. And then slowly unwind, returning to your three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, drawing right knee in towards your chest before stepping your right foot in between your hands and lowering your back knee down, returning to our low lunge. Let's inhale, reaching arms overhead, and exhale, cactus your arms. And we'll play a little bit more with our back bend here, so taking your hands to your hips or maybe clasping hands, reaching them overhead, just really extending into that back bend. And slowly unwind, coming into your half splits. And we'll find that twist, so planting your left fingers down, reaching up with your right arm, twisting to the right. and then unwind, stepping up into forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, returning to fold. This time we will stay in our forward fold, but catching hold of your big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale, lift up halfway, and then exhale, fold forward any amount. Option to stay here, holding onto the big toes, or if you prefer to take your hands underneath the feet, toes up to the wrist crease, deepening your forward fold. Option to keep a micro bend in the knees. And then wherever you are, releasing your grip, inhaling to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach on up as you rise to stand. And then exhale, hands through prayer, Tadasana. Let's inhale, lift up the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And then exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Take a cleansing breath in through the nose and out the mouth. From here, just jumping through into a seat, extending your legs forward. Let's take a moment in Dandasana, taking hands either side of your hips to the mat, sitting up nice and tall, and dipping your chin down towards your chest. Legs are engaged. From here, inhale, reaching your arms up overhead. And then exhale, pivoting forward from the hips, begin to fold forward into your seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Let's slowly release. Then scoot forward, come to lie down on your back, hugging knees into your chest. Perhaps taking a moment to rock gently from side to side. And then keeping your right knee in towards your chest, allow your left leg to extend out long. And then crossing right knee over the body, setting up for a supine spinal twist. We've done a lot of back bend work in this class, so ending with a reclined twist will feel very nice to reset the back. And just gently unwind your twist and then set up for the other side, hugging left knee in and crossing it over the body. And when you're ready, slowly unwinding your twist and come into happy baby just for a moment. And then returning knees towards your chest, catching hold behind the thighs, and then gently rocking up back into a seat, Sukhasana, crossed legs. We'll just take a moment to pause in stillness, closing your eyes, palms face down on your knees. And just taking a moment to check in with how you're feeling. Maybe the shoulders and the back feel a little bit more open. And when you're ready, just gently taking hands in front of the heart in prayer. And then bringing your palms up to the third eye space, gently bowing forward to close our practice together. Namaste.